Madden holiday is here and we will play all night. Calling sick and sound sincere, in tackles will delight. The fridge is packed with drink and meat, the taste of victory sure is sweet.
Naturally, the NFL offseason doesn't just include players changing teams, but also changes the rules as well. And there have been some big ones this year. We'll cover a little bit of that, as well as some of the NFL International game announcements and some funny quirks in there. Also, I hope you've enjoyed seeing me get my butt kicked by the Dallas Cowboys almost as badly as the Giants did in real life this past season. Anyone else remember that? I mean, I think it got completely overshadowed by what happened to Aaron Rodgers the next night, but yeah, that was really bad, wasn't it? Anyway, let's go over some of those rule changes.
How many cold tablets do you take a day? 2?
More.
4?
More.
6?
Yes, 6.
A day? And then more at night? Why?
They're new?
Ever try Contact?
No.
Watch. One Contact helps relieve your congestion for up to 12 hours without the aspirin substitute and cough suppressant in these. Just one more Contact helps you all night while you sleep.
You're the guys on TV.
Give your cold to Contact.
If you want good tastes from the good earth with no preservatives.
Try Chunking for your beautiful body. Try Chunking for your beautiful body. Try Chunking for your beautiful body. Try Chunking for the beautiful taste. Try Chunking for your beautiful body. Try Chunking for your beautiful body. Try Chunking for your beautiful body. Try Chunking for your beautiful life.
Chunking, good food.
Best dressed coach in the NFL? Belichick.
49ers are going to surprise some people this year. That's a fact.
Curtis Martin? He should have retired 3 years ago.
What's Matty Schottenheimer, like 100? Seriously.
My sleeper pick? New Orleans Saints.
Going into the owners' meetings this year, the two main focuses for the Rules Committee were, of course, player safety, but they also touched a little bit on coaches' challenges as well. In terms of player safety, obviously, the hip drop tackle was banned, and they adopted the new XFL kickoff rule. In terms of coaching, now, if a coach uses their first challenge on a play and it gets overturned, that challenge is not taken away, as opposed to the old way where a coach had to be right on 2 challenges to get the third challenge. Now they basically have a third challenge by default. Again, as long as said play is overturned. Now, I think that coach's challenge part is pretty self-explanatory, so let's focus a little bit more on the hip drop tackle and the kickoff rules. I find the hip drop tackle being banned rather complicated. I understand the reasoning due to the rash of leg injuries that happened last season, but it really does put a tackler in a lose-lose-lose scenario, doesn't it? I mean, what do you do in the scenario? You either A, let the runner go, which is a losing scenario. B, you then get on the runner's back and get carried for 8 or 9 yards, which not only is a losing scenario, but is downright demeaning. Or C, you do the hip drop tackle, which is a penalty, which, in other words, is another losing scenario. Not to mention, it sounds like this rule might be really hard to enforce. I mean, this isn't like a horse collar play where it can be pretty definitively decided whether or not it's a penalty. This might take a couple minutes to review something. Now, the new XFL-style kickoff is going to present its own possibilities. I mean, this should allow for more returns. I mean, there should now be a return on just about every kickoff the way the rules appear to be worded. But then again, with how strong-legged kickers are nowadays, it can be just as easy to just boot the ball through the end zone and give the team now the ball at the 30-yard line, which it now comes out to. That being said, this completely takes away the ability to have a surprise onside kick. And to face it, it still doesn't sound like the onside kick problem itself has been completely fixed at all. I mean, at this point, they probably should have just also implemented the 4th and 20 play if they were going to do this new kickoff rule. Overall, though, it should be interesting to see if this actually works. I can't say for sure whether or not it will, but it should at least be interesting to see how well this plays out. I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of the whole 4th and 20 rule, by the way. It just, again, given how much of a downturn onside kicks have taken in the recent years, something new has to at least be tried. Getting into the last few rule changes here, the trade deadline got pushed back from Week 8 to Week 9, which should allow for some bigger moves to be made and could maybe pay things off a little bit more. The NFL is not really like baseball or basketball where one trade can completely alter a season, but sometimes it does happen. There will now be reviews for delay of game penalties or to see if a quarterback was down or out of bounds before throwing a pass. And now, on a change of possession, both the offense and defense can be penalized for roughness penalties. I'm not sure I got that one right. It took me like 3 times to read that rule, and I'm still not entirely sure I understand it. Anyway, that should pretty much wrap things up here, so let's move on to the NFL international games.
IBM presents You Make the Call. Marcus Allen of the Raiders catches a pass, is hit by a Falcon at the 2-yard line, and fumbles the ball through and out of the end zone. Now you make the call. Whose ball is it and where?
You want to start small, but think tall. That's your plan with computers that can grow along with you. How are you going to do it? Well, you're going to PS2 it. With the IBM PS2. You want to network up, network down, share information with other towns. In your business, you got a mission to rise above the competition. I'll tell you, you're going to PS2 it. The solution is IBM.
What call did you make? When the ball is fumbled from the field of play through and out of the end zone, it belongs to the defensive team at the spot of the fumble.
Here they come. Over 75 1980 Ford cars and trucks that Vanderstein Ford just purchased from a large local Ford dealer. Because of the deal we made, you can buy any one of these special purchase Ford cars or trucks at below-cost prices. Below-cost prices. Plus, you get Ford Motor Company's $300 rebate on Fairmont, $500 rebate on Thunderbird. Special purchase sale ends March 2nd. Vanderstein Ford, where now is really the time to buy a 1980 Vanderstein Ford.
Vanderstein Ford.
Hello, I'm Orville Redenbacher. Can Sammy and Spot tell which popcorn is my famous gourmet popping corn?
Ready, Spot? Oh! Pop says that's yours.
Right. Mine pops so much bigger and fluffier, it's blowing the top off of the popper.
Spot says most every kernel pops, too.
Taste my gourmet popping corn. You'll like it better or my name isn't... Redenbacher, Spot, Redenbacher.
Now, not all of the international games have been announced, but many have been pieced together. And yes, for sake of clarity, a lot of this does come from JG9 News. I'll include links in the description to clarify those. Right now, the only true formal announcement is that the Green Bay Packers and Philadelphia Eagles will be playing in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Now, technically, this is supposed to be a home game for the Philadelphia Eagles, even though the Green Bay Packers are far and away the more popular team in Brazil. Now, for the longest time, it was thought that the Eagles would wind up hosting the Cleveland Browns, as Cleveland defensive back Maurice Hurst Jr. kind of blabbed the idea on some type of Browns thing. I don't know if it was a news segment or it was a YouTube show in general, but yeah, the clip is up on YouTube. That being said, I'm going to link again to the JG9 News article video that kind of goes into that a bit more. So, did the NFL just get upset and change this out of spite? I guess we'll never know. Also, we've had one additional funny little factoid to this as well. Again, there'll be a link in the description for it. But apparently, the fact that both the Eagles and Packers primarily wear green as part of their uniforms could get them in trouble, as this is being held in the Corinthians FC stadium, and Palmeiras FC, Corinthians' hated rival, wears green. And apparently there's actually been some people who just worn green shirts in the wrong section of town and gotten beaten up. So, yeah, it's entirely possible that they may have blown this, but again, this comes from the bastion of journalistic integrity known as the Daily Mail, so do maybe take that with a tiny grain of salt. Moving on to the London games, it's been revealed that the host teams are going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars, Chicago Bears, and Minnesota Vikings. Now, traditionally, the Jaguars play 2 games in London, one where they're the home team and one where they're the visiting team. So, again, JG9 News did this a lot more in depth. link in the description. But yeah, he was able to piece together that in all likelihood, due to the way the scheduling is laid out, it's probably going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Chicago Bears in London. It's unknown who exactly the Minnesota Vikings are going to face or who the Jaguars themselves will be hosting. So there you go. And that leads us to our final international game, the one being played in Munich, being hosted by the Carolina Panthers. Their likely opponents are either the Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, or Los Angeles Chargers. Now, technically, the Panthers do also host the Chiefs this year, but the Chiefs went to Germany last year. They probably don't want to do that in back-to-back years. Again, the same video, I believe, with the London games is in that JG9, so the link again will be in the description. Like I said, the links in the description kind of explain these a little bit more, but still, these are all in all pretty interesting. So, thank you for your time here, and let's wrap things up in the next little segment.
If you're buying or leasing a new car or truck, it pays to compare Dodge, Chrysler, and Plymouth to the competition. We'll pay you $50 to test drive one of our new 1980 cars and trucks. Buy or lease ours, or a directly competitive model within 30 days, and the $50 is yours. So come take our $50 test drive. You can't lose. You get the car you like best and $50 to boot. The new Chrysler Corporation is doing business like Detroit never did it before.
Everybody knows Wild Irish Rose. You're gonna love it on ice. Straight up, it's so nice. Ginger ale in a glass. Now you're drinking class. Add a twist if you like. Anyway, it's just right. Now you're drinking fine. You're sipping Richards Wild Irish Rose wine.
Everybody knows Wild Irish Rose. Maybe that's why over 60 million bottles were sold last year.
I'm 7-0 this season.
You auto-drafted.
That's what all the great GMs do. They delegate.
You didn't do anything.
Yeah, I did. I set the cue.
Without NFL.com fantasy football, what would friends talk about?
I almost wore shorts today.
Oh.
I was gonna do a sweatshirt shorts combo. Switched to pants instead.
NFL.com fantasy football. It's fun, it's free, it's easy.
Okay, so this is how I'm fairly certain the next few videos are going to play out. Obviously, the next video is going to be a draft preview. It'll be another Madden video. After that will probably be the Madden draft recap, then the random trade review on Punisher Kill Crew, then the recap and review for WWE Backlash. Is it Backlash France or Backlash in Paris? Or well, it's in Lyon, so it's not WWE Backlash. And then we'll be doing X-Men 97. This is probably the best way to lay everything out at this point. It does kind of mean I'm going to be kind of scripting the Punisher review and taking notes on the draft at roughly the same time. Hopefully it won't be too much of an overlay, but again, should help everything shake out properly. See you all next time. Hey guys, remember that you can support my work at patreon.com/sleepytimeforcat productions. Also, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, and ring that notification bell so that way you can be alerted to further videos.